This is Joe. Joe has a wife and 3 daughters. He was born in 1969 in Kaohsiung, Taiwan, and moved to Taipei to live with his aunt because his parents couldn't support him and his sisters. His parents moved to America to work at a restaurant to make money. His dad was the chef and his mom was a waitress. In 1992, he packed his bags, brought $6,000, and moved to Florida with his wife, my mom, to help out at the restaurant. Afterwards, he decided he wanted to move to Los Angeles.
洛杉矶跟佛罗里达是离得最远。
I chose LA because I thought the further I went from Florida, the better. Your mom and I decided to come to Los Angeles because it fit our lifestyle. Our English wasn't good, so it was more convenient using Mandarin to communicate with others. Los Angeles is also the closest American city to Taiwan and China. I knew that if I wanted to start my own business and have overseas customers, I had more of an opportunity in Los Angeles.
我们那个时候呢，开着爷爷和奶奶帮我。
At that time, your mom and I drove a 1992 Toyota Camry to Los Angeles in 7 days. Without knowing anyone or having any friends, we found a place to live and settled. With only $6,000, we had to pay for rent, your mom's I-20 student status, and more, so we ran out of money really quickly after moving here.
台湾跟中国的关系一直是比较紧张的。
When I was younger, Taiwan and Chinese relations were extremely tense. I would hear stories from friends and neighbors about their children serving in Dingmen and Matsu Islands, who were killed by the Chinese. At night, the military on both sides would swim across the strait to kill their enemies and cut off their ears as trophies.
This is how it all started. Dingmen, an island 1.2 miles from the coast, was the main theater of a war between China, led by Chairman Mao, and Taiwan, led by President Chiang. In October 1949, there was a fierce battle, and 5,200 young men on both sides lost their lives. The battle marked Dingmen's separation from the mainland regime. Afterwards, loudspeakers were built on both sides. Chinese loudspeakers would loudly announce, "Dear Taiwanese compatriots, hurry and return to embrace the motherland." In the evenings, Taiwan would play songs. A native Taiwanese man said, "We played music to touch their hearts." Taiwan would always play a song titled, "You Ask How Deeply I Love You." I found this particularly interesting. While China was yelling across the strait to Taiwan, the island was playing beautiful melodies, singing about how beautiful love is. Near the loudspeakers was a place called the Iron Fort. The Iron Fort in Dingmen once protected frogmen units. Horrifying stories of lightning attacks are told by Matsu residents of how the mainland's frogmen would sneak inside the fort at night, slit the throats of the Taiwanese men, and vice versa, cut off their ear and bring it home to show their comrades. The 250-kilometer swim is a crossing made difficult by complex sea currents and the presence of sharks.
蒋中正死掉的时候，爹地那个时候还很小。
I still remember when Chiang Kai-shek died. People in Taiwan were not sad because he passed, but because they were worried China would invade and drop bombs and deplete Taiwan. I remember when China and America started official diplomatic relations. America broke ties with Taiwan, and Taiwan was banned from the UN. America decided to work with China. Taiwan's stock and real estate plummeted. Country and city leaders and ministers would cry every day because they had lost hope for Taiwan. They believed Taiwan was defeated and it would be overrun by China.
台湾太小了，也没有办法去做什么联合。
Taiwan is too small to create a partnership with America. We've always been a small country compared to China, and we were never recognized as an independent country. If America were to get in a war with China, they wouldn't reach out for Taiwan for help because we didn't have the capacity to help. In the era of Chiang Kai-shek, America was willing to provide bullets and artillery to fight China. After his death, we couldn't muster the power to fight back.
I can't imagine what it's like to live in a constant state of fear. Afraid of invasions, of bombs, of war. Since the beginning of the Chinese Civil War, the crushing power of the Chinese Empire over our island and the need for them to control our people has been extremely prevalent. The Chinese Empire influenced the world into thinking Taiwan is not a country. I look up to the courage my parents had to both sacrifice so much to immigrate to a new country. At the end, I asked my dad, "Do you have any regrets?" He said,
从小所接受的传统的教育啊、观念啊，就是不一样的。
Everyone will have a lot of regrets, but for me, once it passes, forget about it and move on. There's no point in regretting. In Chinese culture, we like to look forward and move past all of our mistakes. I had no other choice but to accept it. In Chinese culture, you have to accept the situation you're in no matter what. Your grandparents already had everything planned out, so I had to move to America. I was worried about not having any money, and that time, your grandparents couldn't help me in any way. If I was experiencing a difficult time, they didn't know about it. In Chinese customs, it is normal to take what you have and solve your own problems. I didn't really have any money from the start.
I'm really grateful for all of the opportunities I've had because my parents immigrated and moved to California. Just like how the Chinese and Taiwanese military swam through the strong current of the strait to present the ear of an enemy, my parents came over many difficulties and went through many troubles to present me and my sisters the opportunity to achieve the American dream. Now, at the university ranked #1 for doing the most for the American dream, I hope to take the skills and knowledge I've gained throughout my life, especially through Humanities Core Writing, to tell the stories of other Taiwanese Americans and to address the tensions between the two countries. I would like to be a voice to Taiwan and to rise up from China trying to mute us from the world, starting with this story.